trained B-17 crews here before they sent them to war. Now the same concrete tests a different kind of machine. Sebring isn't smooth. It isn't forgiving.
And it was never meant to be. Every crack, every seam, every brutal bump through turn 17 reminds you exactly where you are. A track built on history, a surface that demands respect. 2026 NASA Championships, powered by Hoosier. Sebring International Raceway. Make your mark on history.
She's got a megaphone in her hand, black boots on the street. She's got traction, she's got friction, she's bringing the heat.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to another night of NASA Texas Sim Racing. Tonight we head north of the border to one of the most legendary and intimidating road courses in North America. It's Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, better known to us as Mosport. Tonight we've got Scott Adams Driver Development League following a field loaded full of full world racing drivers, all climbed aboard and ready to conquer this Mosport track in their Toyota GR86 Cup car. 1 hour of racing, 20-minute stage breaks at minute 20 and minute 40 into the race. And of course, it's Sean Stam directing, producing, and commentating your race out here tonight. Out here from Bowmanville, Canada, it's Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. It's got a track length of about 2.4 miles, sitting at an altitude of about 1,000 feet. Bit speed limit at the crawling 35 miles per hour. Track temp, it's cool, calm, and collected out here tonight. Plenty of grip for these Toyota GR86 Cup car Continental tires to grip to the surface. Not too hot there at 87 degrees track temp. 8 mile per hour winds out of our northwest in an open setup underneath our driver's feet tonight. It's unlimited tire sets. It's unlimited fast repairs. 100% race fuel in the tank. And there you'll have it. There I am, Sean Stam, directing, producing, and commentating the show right side of the screen. Now, before we get trackside action tonight, we got to take a look at the bigger picture, and that's the point standings heading into race tonight for Mosport. It's Anthony Wynn, Billy Smith the second, Scott Adams the 1, 2, 3 in the points, Jared Odrick, Patrick Brunson, Andreas Ravana 4th, 5th, and 6th. Point standings there that are within one race shot of maybe taking over the point standings leading. Daniel Parmalee, Parmesan Cheese out there, P7 in the points. Luke Cantor, Chase Gardner, and Corey Elliott rounding out the top 10. Now, you saw it out there within kind of our bottom text within the screen, but obviously make sure you join us out there from Velocity Sim Racing Lounge. They now have a Dallas location. NASA Texas is doing an event this Saturday, racing those Mazda MX-5 Cup cars in preparation for championships at Sebring here in just a couple of weeks' time. Before we get rolling out here tonight, we of course appreciate our sponsors and affiliates out there and behind the scenes rocking and rolling. Of course, NASA Texas, NASA's Texas' premier partner, sports car racing and high performance driving, specializing in all in real life racing, coaching, and data driven performance, and much, much more. Of course, as well as Black Underwear. That's the real life sponsor on board out there with us for Patrick Brunson, I do believe. Excuse me, Jared Odrick. Black Underwear. Let us handle the underwear with our under one rated boxer briefs. It's Brunson Motorsport. There's Patrick Brunson, unfortunately not able to make it to the racetrack tonight, but appreciate Brunson Motorsports is one of our sponsors and affiliates. That's engines and vehicle accessories, apparel, and more headed your way. TRB Autosport, they provide the top-tier vehicle, expert support, and exhilarating race experience at any Trans Am by Pirelli or SCCA event. Make sure you hit up TRB Autosport, getting you ready to go trackside racing action. Simshop.com, creating a real driving feel through direct drive wheelbases and full metal construction and much, much more. Speedcom.com, leading supplier of motorsports radio comms. They produce a wide of products involved in headsets, helmet kits, and wiring harnesses, and much more. Appreciate Speedcom for coming out there on board with us, as is Velocity Sim Racing Lounge, their newer location out there in Dallas. Make sure you hit up there with us this weekend, as Dallas will be going out there at the virtual racetrack with their Houston location. Get ready out there for MX-5s at Sebring for the championship race. Of course, Scott Adams Driver Development, taking drivers and showing those drivers to be champions from back and behind the race wheel, from both on and off of the virtual racetrack. Well, now that we got the sponsors and affiliates dealt with, we can see who starts where. And how about you, Marvin Samayoa? Marvin Samoya looks like he's going to slap it out there on the pole. Billy Smith the second, P number 2. Actually, had that back. Billy Smith the second, last chance up there in qualifying. Grabbed the pole over Marvin Samoya. Marvin, he's going to have to start their P2 in that grilled pickled machine. Anthony the Win P3, it's Daniel Parmalee P4, and that Haribo Gummy Bears paint scheme, the Toyota GR86. Andreas Raffena and Scott Adams himself rounding out row number 3, starting in P5 and in P6. Corey Elliott on Daniel Santabange rounding out row number 4, that belongs to P7 and P8. Row number 5, it's James Lopez and Keith Gwinnett. A lot of real-life racing drivers out there going out here within sim racing world. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Make sure you got yourself a drink. Make sure you got yourself a snack as well. Row number 6 belonging to Austin Dinger and the Wonder Bread Ricky Bobby. Toyota GR86 number 26, AJ McAllister rounding out our top 12. Now, unfortunately for drivers 10th, 11th, and 12th, Daniel Santabange, Keith Gwinnett, and Austin Dinger, they are shown starting at the rear of this pack, not able to make it out here at the start of the race. You know who is able to make it out here at the start of the race? It's drivers 1st through 9th position. Billy Smith II on the pole, all the way down to James Lopez. Ladies and gentlemen, get up, stand up for your life, and don't you ever give up the fight. It's NASA, Texas, Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series, Green Flag Racing at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Billy Smith II, he's able to grab the lead outside of turns 1, heading into 2 and 3 of the opening lap of the race. Door to door, now single file. Here's 2, 3, and 4. Marvin Samayo, he's able to work his way back here within P3 of the 2 of the race. Anthony Wynn, and there's Corey Elliott as well. Nice start out here for these NASA Texas Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series drivers. Lots of these drivers going at it from the real life racetrack and out into the sim world. Speaking of which, Billy Smith II leading Marvin Samoya out there within, going out there within our kind of fast short shoot of the breakaway, headed out there within the double right-hander of Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Here, that double right-hander there is where you're going to want to make sure you make that corner exit speed, make it matter where it matters most, because if you're not able to catch that corner exit, you're just going to lose about a 10th here, a 10th there. Next thing you hear, before you know it, it's a whole 0.3, 0.4, almost half of a second lost going out there within the back straightaway here within our opening lap of Mosport. Marvin, he's not going to abide his time out there. He's going to start to look around the outside line, try to make the spot happen. Not quite, says Billy Smith II. Opening lap here within the switchback out here within the right, then to the left, and then to the right-hander to complete 1 lap. Billy Smith II, pole sitter, still out there and in front. Marvin Samoya P2, Anthony Wynn P3, Daniel Parmalee P4, Corey Elliott P5. Really a lot of single file runs up there. This is a track, it's such momentum based, right? Your momentum will make you or break you. Continuing to run your way out there through these laps. Daniel Parmalee, he's got some contacts there. He's going at it up there with Corey Elliott. Corey Elliott, he's one of those drivers who kind of making some speed happen out there within these opening laps of the race. Short run speed, maybe versus long run speed. as these tire temps, as these tire pressures continue to build. There's Andreas Raffana, the Italian, who's got the side-by-side up in front of him. Back down the hill and back up we go into the double right-hander. That's the 77 there, excuse me, the 17 of Corey Elliott. No! He tried to cut that corner apex, and the next thing before you know it, the corner apex right after that for Corey Elliott. He finds himself going around after getting launched into the stratosphere. The suspension not able to go to work and try to keep Corey Elliott on the racetrack there after what was, there goes Daniel Parmalee, just able to clear it over that number 17 machine. And then here it goes, the next corner over. Corey Elliott diving it deep down to the inside line. That's just not there. Daniel Parmalee, he is there. Down and around goes Corey Elliott. He'll fall back into the P9. Here we'll join back on this battle going across the stripe. It's between out here Marvin Samoya and Anthony Nguyen. Still a 1, 2, 3, 4 battle on this pack, separating the rest of the pack as Andreas Raffana, Scott Adams, and AJ McAllister. Don't forget about James Lopez running out there the top 8. Fastest lap of the racetrack out there. Give it to James Lopez this time by driver 012 machine. He continues to just pick him up where he's been putting him down. James Lopez out there within the point standings. Our point standings could start to all come down here to this. James Lopez sitting out there. Oh, he's going to go there just a little bit wide, trying to close the gap there over AJ McAllister up in front of him. There's the Scott Adams driver development Toyota GR86 of Scott Adams. He's continuing to work his way back down the hill. We're continuing to hop on board here with Scott now. Looking back at there, AJ McAllister. AJ, he does close the gap out there within corner entrance, but look at that out here within corner exit. That double right-hander. You're going to want to make sure that you have that double right-hander out there and underneath your gas pedal. Exactly what Scott Adams has there. The coats going to work, teaching the students how it's done. Scott Adams, he's showing up there within P6, exactly where he started. Here comes AJ McAllister as well. Here comes Andreas Raffana. Scott Adams with such a run there outside of turn number 5 last time by. He's going to start to look around the inside line. It's going to be door. It's going to be a quarter, kind of a slingshot by around using the slipstream, using the draft. Scott Adams, how about you? Number 72. 1 spot gains to the drop of the green flag. And if you focus your attention on the left side of your screen, that's how many positions gained your favorite driver has in their hands since the drop of the green flag. AJ McAllister, 2 spots back and behind Scott Adams. He's gained 5 spots since the drop of the green. Now don't forget, we still do have that stage break at minute 20 and minute 40 into our race tonight. Still some side-by-side starting to accumulate, but it's really been all single file runs. Hopping on board at the back bumper here of Billy Smith II. Billy Smith II, opening couple laps of the race. It was 1 minute 30:59, so about a 1/10 of a lap slower out there. Or was it then Marvin Samoya? Anthony Nguyen, he's still rocking and rolling. That kind of third place and on by 4/10 of a second back. It's a 1, 2, 3 breakaway out here from Mosport. Daniel Parmalee, he's continuing to sit P4. Scott Adams, P5. It's Andreas Raffana, AJ McAllister, James Lopez, Corey Elliott, Daniel Santabanes running at the top 10. So what do you have out here from back and behind the race wheel if you're maybe say Marvin or maybe say Anthony Nguyen sitting out there at P2 and in P3, just kind of cool, calm, and cordial, waiting for the laps to come to you. Marvin Samoya, Anthony Nguyen, P2 and in P3. They were some of the fastest drivers within our qualifying session. Marvin, he'll fall back to P2 after Billy Smith II takes over the pole within our last remaining sections of qualifying. Although Billy Smith II hopping on board that rear bumper cam. Again, this is a lot of it's a lot of kind of momentum-based racetracks out here from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. We've seen it out here from Trans Am events as well as the IndyCar event. Unfortunately, they were up there rocking and rolling with a whole new track headed their way. At least we're still up there within our bread and butter of Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and that's where you're going to start to see Marvin Samoya start to close that gap out there on the race lead. It was about half a second out there separating P1, P2. Hopping on board here with Marvin. It's now well, what was 4/10 a second going up and into the roller coaster section now falls back down into the 6/10. It's all the slicing and dicing, the argy-bargy, if you will, tenths, thousandths of a second apart that could make or break your stage 1 victory, your stage 2 victory, or possibly your victory out there in virtual victory lane. 4/10 of a second separating P1, P2. There goes Anthony Nguyen, just barely hanging on board there with them. As now we join this battle for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th on back. It's Scott Adams, it's Andreas Raffena, AJ McAllister, and James Lopez. All within the same camera shot out here. If we can, let's hop on board with this front bumper camera shot of AJ McAllister. The driver who has gained 5 spots at the drop of the green, slicing, dicing, working his way through the pack at a pretty ethical rate as well. Not really too much contact out there with his co-counterparts, continuing just ever so slightly. 1 spot here, 1 spot there. Hopping on board with the Italian Andreas Raffena, he's looking for his Gabagoo. Is it in P6 right now? 1 spot lost since the drop of the green flag, but Andreas Raffena, he's still there, hanging on board that rear bumper camera shot of Scott Adams. AJ McAllister out there as well. It's kind of the beat of the sandwich there for Andreas. He is the Gabagoo. Back up here to the race lead is P1, P2, and in P3, Marvin Samoya, P2, Anthony Nguyen, P3, continuing to try and chase down race leader Billy Smith II. Now, if you're newer out here to Scott Adams Driver Development NASA Texas Sim Racing action, Billy Smith II, he comes into this race 2nd in the point standings. He's no stranger to virtual victory lane. He has the most wins on this season with 7 wins counting. Marvin Samoya, though, he hasn't quite been able to make every single race out there with Scott Adams Driver Development, NASA Texas Sim Racing League. Here comes Marvin. He is closing that gap right back and around that rear bumper of Billy Smith II. Hopping on board for a driver eye camera shot out here from Marvin outside of turn number 10, I believe it is. Let's hop on board out here for 1, 2, 3 turns. Listen to his throttle, listen to the brake, watch the steering go to work here for Marvin. And as you can see, a lot of it there is just patience as that Guns N' Roses song go. All you need is just a little patience from back and behind the race wheel. No matter if it's on turn in, on throttle acceleration, or waiting on that throttle to finally get that Toyota GR86 Cup car pointed through at the corner and nose pointed in the right direction there. It's a lot of bit of kind of similarities out there between the 1, 2, 3. The differences start to form out there between Daniel Parmalee, Scott Adams, AJ McAllister. Daniel, he started right where he started this race, finally has a good race going his way within these opening laps. No spins for instant out there. Here comes Scott Adams as well. That'll be for P5, AJ McAllister, James Lopez, Andreas Raffena. Andreas Raffena, he's lost 3 spots since the drop of the green. Corey Elliott out there as well. As we go back and out to that air into the race lead. Marvin Samoya, he's going to work his way back around the outside line in a corner where you don't want to use too much brake, if any brake at all. Marvin, though, he can't quite make the spot happen. Hopping back on board of driver number 97 in the Grillo's Pickles Toyota GR86 machine. Marvin Samoya, he is there all over that rear bumper of Billy Smith II. But Billy Smith, I mean, how about Billy? He has been there. He has done that no matter what kind of track that we follow driver 70 on. It could be a shorter track, less than a mile, mile and a half, or 2 miles and greater. No matter what kind of track, no matter what kind of surface we are on, it's all Billy Smith II out here within this NASA Texas Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series. 9 minutes to go. We're just over halfway to go until our first stage break of the race. And it's still the front 1, 2, 3 continuing to run away with it out here from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Hopping on board with Anthony Nguyen out there. He just gets those right side tires up and into the air as if he just doesn't care. But he does. That's how you have to make the grip height. That's how you have to make the speed out here from around Mosport. And these Toyota GR86 Cup cars still within our cockpit camera shot of Anthony. He is closing down that gap out there within the race 1, 2. but it's not close enough. 7/10 of a second back. Here comes the slipstream. Here comes the draft up there from Marvin Samoya. He can't quite get to the side-by-side and start to set up that side draft up there with our race leader, Billy Smith II. 12 minutes down, 8 minutes to go within our first stage break. Man, YouTube chat for the first time in forever, it is dead. Let us know who you're rooting on for, at least where you're rooting on out there from, as Billy Smith II continues to lead lap after lap after lap. Marvin says, not so fast, my friend. If the house is a-rocking, don't bother knocking, just come on in. Back and on board with our Marvin camera shot out here as he continues to closer and closer, but not quite out there within contention out there within the race lead. Once again, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, it's such a track where momentum is key. You gotta have the corner exit speed to make sure your corner entrance is all worth it there. 3/10 of a second separating P1, P2, 4/10 of a second separating Marvin and Anthony for P2 and in P3. Double right-hander there. This is what I love to watch out there. These NASA Texas Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series drivers. It's all of these different racing lines that are available for use. I mean, talk about Andreas Profana here. They go through the same corner here. The double right-hander. Andreas Profana, meat of the sandwich, still out there in between Corey Elliott and James Lopez. Keep an eye out here on that number 21 machine of Andreas Profana, as he's going to have a really good slipstream. He's going to have a really good draft. He's got a huge hole poked into the air up in front of them out there of driver 17 of Corey Elliott. What does Andreas Profana do within this huge run here? Does he make something happen out there within turns? I believe that is 7 that we're headed out here to now. Not close enough though. He's just going to have to get right back into race line. Just follow suit out there within Corey Elliott, who runs P7, and that Toyota GR86 up in front of him. So the closest battles on the racetrack right now separated between P1 through 3 and P8 through really 10. Billy Smith II, Marvin Samoya, and Anthony Nguyen going at it exactly where they started this race. 1, 2, and 3. Daniel Parmalee still sitting cool, calm, and collected at about their P4. Then there goes Andreas Profana, James Lopez, and well, Daniel Santaveas, he is about 40 seconds back from the 8th and 9th battle, but within that stage break here in about 5.5 minutes time, this is all going to be completely re-racked, restacked, and ready to go. Everybody out there within the same strategic calls on tires and fuel, they'll be on the same strategy calls as far as everybody re-racked, restacked, and starting within the same little bit of real estate there. Back up here within the race lead, Billy Smith II. He's led about almost every single lap since the drop of the green flag, but Marvin Samoya, he says, not so fast, my friend. Here comes Marvin Samoya down around the inside line, or excuse me, the outside line of the Grillos Pickles Toyota GR86. You got to get a little bit of brake to get that front end to rotate there, but it goes from the outside, transitions back into the inside line there. Marvin, he's not able to hang it around the back and around the outside line as Anthony Nguyen takes over right back and on over. Turns, the final 2 turns on this racetrack, they are all presented out there within what you're able to do within turns 10, 11, and 12. Anthony Nguyen, he was able to just to keep his cool, keep his calm, keep his collected out there going into the corner, but that's not really all she said. Here it goes, 2 and 3 wide, heading into a very treacherous portion out here at Mosport Park. There you see Marvin around there, down and around that outside line, transitions back into the inside, but the inside switch back around the outside line. Again, it's kind of a 3-turn setup that sets up our final sector of the race. And Marvin, he is able to somehow, some way hold off that P2 running spot. Hey, we still got YouTube chat all dead. Make sure you join us out there within YouTube land. Make sure you let us know who you are rooting on and where you are rooting on from. We appreciate those sponsors and affiliates out there rooting us on at the top right side of the screen. Make sure you hit those up out there within every single chance you get. How about you, Billy Smith II still leading this race, coming out there within our final 4 minutes to go. He's leading over Marvin Samoya and Anthony Nguyen. Marvin, though, continues to slice, continues to dice, tries to make something happen up for the race lead, but Billy Smith II just says, not so fast, my friend, out there. He's going to continue to work over that race lead. Number 70, searching, begging for race win number 8 on the season. He could be breaking Stam Studio Network Racing broadcast history, the first driver to ever go 8 wins in a season. Billy Smith II, he's in the lead of it now. Marvin Samoya, he's still there as well. Here comes Anthony Nguyen. Anthony Nguyen, second place just 1 week ago, but a race that he should have found virtual victory lane. Hopping on board the camera shot, the GoPro camera of Anthony Nguyen out here, headed out there 3rd, 4th, and 5th turns. It's a lot of patience on the gas. You got to be careful on that steering wheel out there as well. You don't want to spin this light horsepower, this lightweight sports car machine out, down, and around. To me, this is so special to see a driver who we haven't seen out there racing with us every single race up here within the racing action. Grillo's pickled Marvin Samayoa. Does he go inside? Does he go outside? He's going to look down around the inside line. This time it's going to be side drafting down into the outside line. Does Marvin have enough to hold it around the outside line? Because it transitions back into the inside. The switch back here, but hang on to it, Marvin. It goes one more time, back and into the right side. Marvin set around that outside line again out here, but he is running it evens out there within Billy Smith II for the race lead. Contact going across the stripe as Anthony Nguyen has his virtual popcorn book it out. Marvin Samayo, he gets shoved off the racing line there. He tries to set it back around the inside line. Marvin, is he close enough? Is he door to door? He's on that right rear quarter panel. He's going to open up this entrance out here within turns 2, 3, and headed back to 4, but Marvin gets right back out of the gas, and he's got to represent a little bit of grip out there within his GR86 Cup car machine as well. Marvin, he's going to go right back into work on within that Billy machine. Anthony Nguyen still running P3. Daniel Parmalee gets Parmesan cheese. Are you kidding me? Parmesan only 8 seconds back and behind this 1, 2, 3 battle. We should be coming to our white flag, if not green and white checkered flag lap in the stage. Billy Smith II, this is what I love to call a glimpse within the future out of the crystal ball on Stam Studio Network. This is what we could be seeing out there within just a few laps time and 40 minutes time to make or break your way into virtual victory lane. Here comes Marvin Samoya. Here we're gonna see the draft versus the driver who makes the hole out there within the air. Marvin, he's gonna work his way around the outside line of the Grillo's Pickles green and white Toyota GR86 machine. Here comes Billy Smith II back around the inside line. It transitions to the outside and back to the inside again. Who's able to lead their way coming into lap 14, 19 seconds go into the stage break. This is a great look out there with what could be our white flag and checkered flag across the stripe. Billy Smith II, our stage 1 winner. Holy cow, over 2/10 over Marvin Samoya. Anthony Nguyen to P3, 3 wide across the stripe. Well, now we're gonna re-rack them. Now we're gonna restack them. Everybody is now within 1/10 of a second apart. It was 1/10 of a second apart across the stripe there, but oh, Billy Smith II taking away stage win number 1. Look at him slipstream, breaking the draft, going into the corners, trying to avoid all sorts of side draft as well. Billy Smith II out there going within our double right-hand apex, showing that he has everything kind of under his control, at least under control out there within the opening laps of this stage. Billy Smith II, Anthony Nguyen, Marvin Samoya. That's 1, 2, 3. Parmalee, Scott Adams, AJ McAllister in the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Coming down out here to the final breakaway, the final straightaway here, if you will, and into the right-hander and into the back to the left. Is Billy Smith II inside line. Here comes Marvin Samoya back around into the inside this time as it switches back and over. And, well, just how close was it coming to the stripe? 3 wide. There's Anthony Nguyen starts to poke his nose out there in it. Where's the stripe? There's the stripe. And, well, that's how close it was. Marvin and Anthony Nguyen. Looks like they're actually going to give Anthony Nguyen P2 on this race restart. Okay, I know that was a lot. We're going to re-rack and we're going to restack myself out there with you out there in Stam Studio Network. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you joining in out there within Stam Studio Network Broadcasting Land on YouTube. Make sure you let us know who you're rooting on out there and who you are, or where you are rooting on from. Smith the second, Nguyen Samoya, 1, 2, 3, Parmalee, Adams, McAllister, 4th, 5th, 6th, Bafana, Elliott, Lopez, Santa Baines, it's Austin Dinger, and Keith Gwinnett. Unfortunately, those last 2 drivers unable to make it into the start of the race tonight. Also appreciate Velocity Sim Racing Lounge. That is a Houston location, but within their newer Dallas location as well. NASA Texas is doing an event there this Saturday, racing global Mazda NX-5s in prep for championships at Sebring. It'll be a car show as well as a networked race within the Houston location. Not wanting to miss out there. Well, you're not going to want to miss out there. Also not wanting to miss out here. We go back within Green Flag Racing at Mosport. It's Billy Smith II, Anthony Nguyen, Marvin Samoya, and Daniel Parmalee within the top 1, 2, 3, 4 single file runs out there within the restart of this race. Here comes Billy Smith II leading this back, looking for race win number 8 on the season, trying to break all sorts of Sam Studio Network broadcasting history. Drivers continue to work their way up and through the speed, up and through the gearbox. They go 4th, 5th, and 6th. Anthony Nguyen, Marvin Samoya, as well as Daniel Parmalee. There goes Scott Adams, the top 5. It's all single file running up there, trying to chase down Billy Smith II. Make sure, I know that the Lone Star at Le Mans is coming out there within COTA Circuit of the Americas out there in just a couple of weeks' time. I myself, in that same week's time, will be live back and behind the booth at Cotton Bowl Speedway dirt track racing outside of Bastrop, Texas. It's only about a 45-minute drive from Circuit of the Americas. It would mean a lot there up there to me if you make your way out there from COTA Circuit of the Americas that night to Cotton Bowl Speedway. I'll be back in behind the race wheel, my first real lifetime back in behind the commentary booth. Back in behind here, P2, P3, P4. Man, Marvin somehow, some way, he's going to slice, he's going to dice, work over the defense, back over the offense. Marvin back over to P2. Anthony Nguyen, he's going to have to go right back into the work out there if he wants to go back-to-back in virtual victory lane on Stam Studio Network. Let's hop on board now with Andreas Bafana, the Italian himself. He's got the Dynaco machine of that Toyota GR86. It's going to be a left. It's going to be a long left, and back into the straightaway we go, heading to the right. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. A lot of elevation. That's not so friendly. It's unfriendly elevation changes out here. Lots of these corner apexes and exits, really blind corners. Look at Continental Corner out here. It's through the S's will go. Kind of feels like a roller coaster. You got to keep it flat on the floorboard there, but keep your steering to a T. Here comes Andreas Bafana. He does keep it flat up there, and an earlier lift to try to get into that rear bumper of AJ McAllister. That AJ McAllister Toyota GR86 machine, the all orange, a little bit of green out there on it. He's able to work his way back there within P5. He should be P6. Andreas Bafana, P6, trying to chase down Scott Adams in P5. Now look at this slipstream. Look at this draft starting to go to work for Andreas Bafana here. He's going to start to look around that outside line, not even dipping a nose to the inside line, just trying to get some sort of early grip, some sort of early kind of momentum out there within the front nose of that Toyota GR86 Hub car, and maybe he can point that nose in into the right way and maybe possibly find a position up there over one, maybe knock him two within one camera shot. Oh, there, just talk about one camera shot. Daniel Parmalee, he goes there just a little bit wide outside of turn number 10. That allows Anthony Nguyen to set down the fastest lap of the race. Right now it's the front 1, 2, 3 separated by just under half of a second. Here comes Marvin Samoya once again. He has been our fastest driver on the racetrack up there within longer run pace. Marvin, he's got it going on. Driver, he's picking up where he just right there we left off last time racing out there with us. Driver has been here, done that. These Toyota GR86 Cup cars. Hopping on board with race leader Billy Smith II here on that rear GoPro camera shot. You can just start to see how much Marvin and Anthony, both P2 and P3, compromising that corner entrance for even more corner exit speed. Last lap by Billy Smith II, he put down a 130.5, Marvin in P2 a 130.2, and Anthony Nguyen a 130.1. This slipstream, this draft, it's all starting to make or break you out here within this final 27th minute down. 13 minutes to go until our next and final stage break of the race. Man, Marvin doing everything that he can to keep that defense out there tied up there on his front nose, trying to on the rear bumper over Anthony Nguyen, and he's got the offense out there going as well up the front nose, trying to reel in Billy Smith II. 0.3 of a second between P1, P2, all less than 0.2 out there between P2 and P3. Ladies and gentlemen, really quick, enjoy the sight and sound out here from Mosport as we'll get back out here, right back in here in the booth. It's Sean Stamp directing, producing, and commentate the show. The 1, 2, 3 starting to heat up, starting to broil. Right back it on down as Billy Smith II leads us to the line, coming out there within the white flag lap on stage break number 2. Marvin Samoya, he's still there, as well as is Anthony Nguyen. And then 0.7 of a second back is that Daniel Parmalee machine. We've seen so much slipstream, we've seen so much draft, even a little bit of side-by-side. Whether it helps you or completely ruins your race out here tonight, it's going to be within the teamwork that makes the dream work all happen. Here comes Billy Smith II outside of turns 3 and 4, snaking our way back down into the hill, and back up the hill we go, trying to do everything he can to try to break that slipstream, break that draft. But here comes Marvin Samoa. He's going to be so close as there, Marvin. 0.3 of a second back. He's going to have all sorts of slipstream and draft headed his way. So is Anthony Nguyen, as well as Daniel Parmalee. Excellent job out there done for Parmalee. It's Parmesan machine. Started P4, continues to run P4 right now, but within this final straightaway here, within stage break number 2, it's another crystal ball effect. It's all going to come down here to this within the final corners of this lap. Marvin Samoa backing around the outside line, tries to just touch the brake pedal and slam that throttle pedal right back, and on the gas he goes. Inside, back to the outside, backing around turn number 10, out here within stage break number 2. All comes down to this. Billy Smith II, he gets loose across the line. Here comes Marvin Samoa. Oh, it's not close enough. Billy Smith II, stage 2 race winner at the stripe. Marvin, he was less than 0.2 of a second back. How close was it, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, that's right, just this close here. Going out there within our final 2 corners. More has deja vu of last week's race where we saw Brunson get turned off of the front nose going into that back straightaway. There's a little bit more space left here within the drivers within the last 2 to 3 turns out there. Marvin, though, he goes a little bit wide, allows that space to present itself there. There goes the 70 of Billy Smith II, a little bit off of the racetrack there, and that was, I mean, that was setting up out there within our last lap of the race, and then here we go. that was just immaculate driving out there, and that was within that last time by that we saw Billy Smith II get loose going into the corner there. He drove it so deep. I'm not sure if he even downshifted out there with them, but so deep he runs off of the racing line. He collects that number 70 back within his hands, and then there goes Marvin Samoya, tries to break that around that inside line, just doesn't get to the stripe close enough. Fast enough. Billy Smith II has been our stage 2 race winner. Out there with him, 31 minutes down. I do apologize because at stage breaks at every 20 minutes into the race, if my math was mathing correctly, that would be at 20 minutes and 40. So take back everything I said about their cycling and slowing down this pack to, again, single file running out there. That's my mistake. It was minute 30 in the race. I meant that to be minute 40. So although that we do know that there at least, Billy Smith II, that was 3-2 wide coming across the stripe. We've seen how hard that Marvin is able to play it out there within the offense, but how hard as we've seen this within Marvin Samoya playing it out within the defense. It's been a couple of races that Marvin, he hasn't been able to make it out there within the racetrack out there within these Toyota GR86 cars. Marvin, he's no stranger out there to him though. He knows where the grip limit is. He knows where where these rev limits are there as well. Marvin continues around P2, hopping on board now. We're there with P3. Once again, I do apologize, but 8 minutes now down shown until our final stage break of the race. We're not going to slow and roll on down out here within 30 minutes down, but within these next 8 minutes, we will. Billy Smith II, he's still up there within the race lead. Martin Samoya, here's down to Anthony Nguyen. The top 4 drivers shown right now less than 1 second apart on each of their battles. Appreciate all of those sponsors and affiliates joining out there within the top right side of the screen, as well as each and every single one of you out there within YouTube land. I really do appreciate it out there from the bottom of my heart. Don't go anywhere. Halfway down, halfway to go. It's the front 1, 2, 3, 4, and now separated by just less than a second there. Scott Adams, the driver who sits third within the point standings for a reason. It's consistency that has been key. No matter, just like we were talking about there within, I believe it was Billy Smith II. No matter what kind of racetrack you bring him out there to, you bring it a little bit short track, you bring him a little bit more intermediate, or kind of super speedway style road course racing, or it's a lot of on-track throttle time. Man, Scott Adams, he continues to impress each and every single track we bring him to, and man, he better, because that has been our driver coach out there from back behind the race wheel, turning drivers into champions, both on and off the racetrack. That's Scott Adams' driver development out there in iRacing and real-life racing world. Smith II, Samoya, Nguyen. Here we go. Drivers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Palm release starts to open up that quarter interest there just a little bit more. Try to close that gap out there between our front podium position finishers within only 5 minutes left. Hopping on board now with Daniel Parmalee as he's going to start to get a loose condition of Anthony Nguyen up there in front. This is a track where I think you're going to want to try to pounce up there over the drivers up in front of you and the mistakes that they make. Look at Daniel Parmalee. He sends the right side all the way into the corner entrance barrier. Here comes the left one, opening it up there from the next county over. He actually misses the corner apex there just a little bit, but that might be due in part to all the dirty air that is plastered across the front nose of that hair-barrel gummy bear paint scheme machine. Front 3 drivers poking such a huge hole into the air that it's really, you don't have that slipstream, you don't have that draft. Well, you have the slipstream, excuse me, but you don't have that draft that you once had. It should be clean air across the front nose up there, working within some of these faster corner portions of the racetrack. Parmalee, he does close the gap down. It's now down to 0.4 of a second, but loses even more in corner exits. Billy Smith II leading out here in our final 4 minutes to go until stage break number 2. Hopping on board with Anthony Nguyen, that live driver camera shot. He's working that way. Final driver interview spot headed his way. Still, I mean, he is surging, begging for a race win, number 1 of the season, but leading in the points. Anthony Nguyen started P3. He's got P2. He's got P1 right up in front of him. Oh, and that's right. He's got P4 right back in behind him. Anthony Nguyen, the meat of the sandwich. 4 minutes to go at lap times at about 1 minute 30. This will be about 2 to 3 more laps until our stage break number 2. And I promise this one will actually be stage break number 2. Front 1, 2, 3, 4. Still 0.3 of a second apart. Scott Adams, there goes Corey Elliott, there goes Andreas Fafana and AJ McAllister. Those are some of the drivers who are just abiding their time, awaiting for that stage break to head their way. Here we'll go, 3 more minutes, about 2 more laps within the stage. Billy Smith the second, here he comes, trying to lead that pack over Marvin. He's got the pack about there, over 5 car lengths in front of Marvin Samoa, but here comes Anthony Nguyen as well as Daniel Parmalee. As much as Billy Smith the second tries to get out there within the gas pedal earlier on, it's just not able to make it happen. Billy Smith the second back down and around that 0.2 of a second margin. Here comes the slipstream, here comes the draft, here comes Marvin Samoa. We got Moonlight Dancer joining us out there within YouTube land. We got Double Hero Scott. Better catch that draft soon, or he's going to run out of gas. That is a great. That's a great kind of thing that you mentioned out there, Double Hero. We'll get back to that in a few more moments of time as Billy Smith the second continues. Man, that could have been close quarter combat on exits. It's not could have. It was close quarter combat there over Anthony Nguyen and Marvin Samoa. They're continuing their P2, P3. Anthony will take the spot they're over. But as we just heard out there from Double Zero Hero on YouTube land, Scott better catch that draft soon, or he's going to run out there over race. He's going to run out of gas trying to do so. These gas tanks within these Texas GR86 Cup car machines, they're out there turning into the really out there within the RG bars. There's not a lot of wiggle room out there within the gas tanks, and that's where Double Zero Hero's coming from. Scott knows that he's got to make his way here within a top 4 battle, but sitting 3 seconds back. It's a little bit easier said than done. Billy Smith II, talk about easier said than done. Oh, AJ McAllister, he'll be given a meatball flag. We'll have to see out there what happens to AJ within this next stage break's time. There's only 1.5 more minutes to go. Billy Smith II, could he lead it or could he lose it coming within this final stage break? It all comes down here to this, ladies and gentlemen. Now stick with us out here in STAM Studio Network out there after the conclusion of the stage and the drop of the white and checkered flag. We'll be going up against we'll be talking about the unofficial official race results, and we're going over just a little bit more in-depth detail with what incidents happened as well. Billy Smith II, he's going to lead out there out of turn 9. Here coming to turn number 10. 39 minutes down, 40 seconds left to go. Does NASA Texas admins call this as the stage, or will they continue to run this one lap and on out? 40 seconds down there until the 40th minute time. Looks like NASA Texas Scott Adams driver development will run the stage and until it's empty. Or rerunning the fuel tanks until they're empty as well. Scott Adams doing everything that he can to work his way back here within the top 1, 2, 3, 4. Here comes Billy Smith II here within turns 2, within turn 3, and within turns 4 as well. Trying to open up that gap, trying to stretch his legs within the second to final stage end of this race. Anthony Nguyen still 0.3 of a second back. He's going to start to close the gap, but is it close enough going to the double right-hander here? He does close the gap. He gets right back on the rear bumper. It's corner entrance versus corner exit speed. Billy Smith II compromises corner entrance, all for corner exits, but Anthony Nguyen, he is right there within the slipstream, within the draft. Here we'll go again, ladies and gentlemen. It's another crystal ball look. It's a glimpse within the future at what could be our final white and checkered flag laps. Here we'll go on along that back straightaway. 2 turns to go until the stage break finish. Billy Smith II leading there over Anthony Nguyen. Anthony, is he close enough to get that front bumper of that Toyota GR86 back and around the inside line there over Anthony Nguyen? Here comes turn 9, backing around to turn 10. Last chance for Anthony Nguyen. He's going to be there, but by about a half of a car length back. It's Billy Smith II who wins stage number 2 here at Mosport. what a race this has been so far. Re-rack and restack it. We're going to slow them all right back it on down. Goodness gracious, my all me and mighty. It's Sean Stam in the booth, directing, producing, and commentating the show as the track temp continues to rise as well. These drivers looking to put a little bit more grip, looking to put a little more speed within their Continental racing machines. It's really quick. We're going to take a look at there within our final couple of laps to go. Here goes AJ McAllister, and there goes Andreas Rafana. That was oh man, that was heavy contact. Take another look at it here. That was right there off the corner exit, going back around turn 9 and 10. And man, Andreas Rafana and AJ McAllister, heavy contacts there. And it doesn't start to set itself up there until around the exit about their turn 8, headed into, 9 and 10. Also, you know what I see a lot right there, ladies and gentlemen? That is a lot of what I like to call net code. There's no contact between the drivers. Look, you can see the space right there between AJ McAllister and Andreas Rafana. But unfortunately, iRacing Motorsport Simulations, it actually calls that contact. And unfortunately, right rear hooks Andreas Rafana in the 21. AJ McAllister, some pretty heavy contact there as well. This was on the opening couple laps of stage number 1. Daniel Santabanes in the 403. He just turns that 236 into the world's fastest lawnmower for a brief moment's time. Gonna work his way back around 120 miles per hour out there outside of the turn and mowing some grass there. No harm, no foul. Just a little bit of time lost. So now this all falls into the hands within our final 18 minutes to go. Billy Smith II, Anthony Nguyen, Marvin Samoya, Daniel Parmalee, the top 4. Remember, those are the top 4 who kind of worked their way back and kind of threw it away from that pack within the next starting lap on by. Scott Adams, P5, Corey Elliott, P6. It's Andreas Rafana, James Lopez, AJ McAllister, and Daniel Santabanes running at the top 10. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Back into green flag racing. It's single file across the stripe. Billy Smith II, Anthony Nguyen, Marvin Samoya. Here we go. Back into green flag racing. Look at Daniel Parmalee. Parmalee, it's Parmesan trees. He wants everything to do within that final driver interview spot. Scott Adams right there in behind at that Daniel Parmalee spot, only by about 0.8 of a second. Hopping on board with driver coach himself, Scott Adams. It's working his way, opening up the corner, slowing it down, and right back on the gas up there outside turns 3 and 4, heading back down to our long back straightaway, heading into Continental Corner. It's the roller coaster back down the hill, right back up it, left and right we go. Where we stop, nobody knows. Man, what a move giveth, what a move taketh up there for Billy Smith II, Anthony Nguyen, and Marvin Samoya. The top 3 drivers still continue to run it. They're over Daniel Parmalee. Here comes the NASCAR, here comes the stock car racing action, the bump draft, the slipstream, the draft, all out here from Mosport Park within our final 15 minutes time. Billy Smith II, he has a shot out there from his rear end, but here comes Anthony Nguyen, here comes Marvin Samoya backing around the inside line. Marvin Samoya, he is a mechanic out there in real life MX-5 and Toyota Dirty City Cup cars. He is a driver and a behemoth from back behind the race wheel. Marvin, he's not going to give out there within a spot to be given, and he'll take all spots if the spot is open. Marvin Samoya started P2, back within racing here with us this race week here at NASA Texas Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series. Daniel Parmalee, he goes Mach 2 at the outside tire. Not tire barrier, but concrete barrier. Oh, Parmalee, his night is over. His top 3 driver interview spot, it all goes down just like that. Parmalee pushing, shoving it within inches apart. Here, pause. Just trying to close that gap out here within that 3rd ring spot of Samoya and Daniel Parmalee a little bit earlier out there with on the gas. One final look out there within this wreck out there for Daniel. Watch this, it's not till about there, that corner exit. It starts to get a little bit wobbly wiggly. That left rear corner starts to push. Parmalee, he's already on the gas, and here comes the grass on the tires. No grip left out there within it, and that's going to start to send that number 99 around after trying to kind of counter steer that thing. Counter steer out there and into death. goes, virtual goes number 99. Backing out to your out up front, 14 laps to go. It's Billy Smith the second. Here comes Anthony Wynn. Marvin Samoa, he's still there as well. So like we saw double zero hero, like we saw him mentioning earlier on the broadcast, Scott Adams, just keep your nose clean and keep your head down. And well, Scott Adams, he could start to work his way up there within that final driver interview spot. Hopping on board here with Scott Adams here. He's worked his way up within top 4th position. Just needs one more spot within a final driver interview spot headed his way. It's Marvin who he's got within the crosshairs though, but within this opening lap, within our final sector of the race, within these opening 2 laps, he's actually lost 1 to 2 to 3 seconds. Excuse me, not seconds, but 1 to 2 to 3 tenths time out there. Billy Smith II. What does Billy Smith II have out here left virtual and physically left within the fuel tank? We got Moonlight Dancer joining in as well. Can be anyone's race still out there. We got Jaden Wilcox joining in from either that's Austin or Australia. Whoa, heavy contact there. Who goes around? That's going to be Corey Elliott. Corey Elliott, no, the driver of the 17 machine up there shown within top 6, top 7 spots. Here goes Daniel Parmalee off the racetrack, and does he take Corey Elliott out there with him? This might be 2 different incidents out there. Yeah, there goes Daniel Parmalee off the racetrack. No harm, no foul there. But there goes Corey Elliott off the racetrack. This one is a harm. It is a foul. Oh my goodness gracious. Corey Elliott shoved into he's turned into a pilot as he gets his pilot's license out there after the contact out there from AJ McAllister. What huge, heavy contact with that within the mountain of the right side tires out there. And a little bit of contact within the left side out there as well to set this all up. Golly, taking flight out there from Corey Elliott. AJ McAllister just wrong place, wrong time there. But AJ, he does keep that Toyota GR86 pointed in the right way. Here we'll go. Final 12 minutes left to go. It's Billy Smith II. It's Anthony Wynn. It's Marvin Samoa. 1, 2, 3. Moonlight Dancer 06. He is in out there and to win it in YouTube chat within Marvin Samoa. Now within as we hop on within our live camera shot out there, within back and behind the race wheel out there from Marvin. Marvin, he has been here. He has done that within whatever kind of race tracks and race cars he is racing out there within iRacing land. Man, Marvin, he's got the speed, he's got the pace to make it happen, but now falls back into P3 after so much speed, after so much pace, both real life and virtual race world. Shoot, a lot of these, if not all of these real life racing drivers out there, lots of the drivers that they see out there are real life drivers within Stanford Network of this NASA Texas Toyota GR86 Cup car race. It's all coming down in here within these final few 11 minutes to go. Just like we saw from last week, it's even more side by side for the race lead, and we'll have one driver right up there with him for that P3 spot. Here we'll go side by side again. It's going to be inside, back to outside, back to inside it goes for Billy Smith II. Billy Smith II a little bit wide. He'll go outside of turn number 10. A little bit wide goes Billy Smith II. Opens up the door for Anthony Wynn. Hey, if the house is a-rockin', don't bother knocking, just come on in. Exactly what Anthony Wynn is saying, leading the point standings, backing into the race lead of the race. Now Anthony Wynn, as far as my timing and scorings and broadcast notes are concerned, still surging, still begging for race win number 1 of the season, but that is where it's been, all consistency. It's all been, consistency has been key for driver number 95, back within the race lead. Anthony, been there, done that, continuing to lead laps out there now, overtaken away from Billy Smith II. Billy Smith II, fastest driver earlier on out there within the race, but as these lap times continue to grow and as these tires continue to shred their grip and shred their speed, man, Anthony Wynn, he's really starting to come to life out there within that number 95 Mazda Toyota GR86 Cup car. Here comes some more slipstream. Here comes some more bump drafting out there from that second and third spot. Anthony Wynn still out there to the race lead, but for Billy Smith II, this is really starting to become the yins and yangs out there from road course racing, if you will. Say for a driver like Billy Smith II, you have shown up there, you have shown that you can lead laps out there from Mosport Park out there, trying to make the inside line work this time by a little bit easier said than done there, as Anthony Nguyen rockets back around the outside line, backing into the race lead. Billy Smith II, he has led quite a few laps here tonight. Marvin, he has been there. He has been close enough to lead laps, but just not quite just yet. Andreas Ravenna, the Italian driver number 21 in the Dynaco machine. Andreas Ravenna only 0.2 of a second back. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach these final 9 minutes left to go, our front four drivers, just as Moonlight Danger says within YouTube chats, it is anybody's ball game. 0.2 of a second separating the 1, 2, 3, and the 4. What I really like from the static shot is you can see just how much of that slipstream, how much that drafts, and how much really the open air that separates between the 1, 2, 3, 4. Anthony Nguyen, a whopping 0.3 of a second back and in front of Billy Smith II. But here comes Billy Smith II with even more teamwork, making the dream work. It's more stock car and bump drafting happening out there between Billy Smith II and Marvin Samoya. Andreas Ravenna, he's still there as well. Here comes Anthony Nguyen leading the pack. Outside turns 9. Backing around the stretch back into turn 10. Anthony Nguyen, last lap by on the race. He put down actually a 1:31.30. That has not been fast enough to hold off Andreas Ravenna, who Andreas Ravenna actually sets on the fastest lap last lap by, putting down a 1:31.23. Back out here separating P1 and P2 though. It's Anthony Nguyen, it's Billy Smith II, and it's all but Billy Smith II. Slower the last 5 lap times there. It's visually faster though. Here's Billy Smith II, tries to set up his nose backing around, looking up top, looking back down bottom. We got 3 different race lines that are starting to come into fruition here tonight. Billy Smith II looking for race win number 8 on the season, trying to break all Stam Studio Network racing broadcast history. Marvin Samoya still to P3, back out there within racing with these guys. How about you, Marvin? So much speed, so much pace. Final driver interview spot right now. Here comes these final 7.5 minutes to go. That's the top 3. Andreas Ravenna, here goes Scott Adams, AJ McAllister. They're still sitting about that top 6. Daniel Parmalee, after a slice and a dice through the pack and a little bit loose as a goose as well, falls his way back into the P7. There goes James Lopez and Corey Elliott, about 7 seconds back and behind that battle. Backing up here and into the race lead. It's not so fast, my friend. Out there says Anthony Nguyen. Anthony Nguyen continues to hold off that Billy Smith II outside turns 8, 9, and into turn number 10. We're starting to run out of time out there for the drivers shown not within first place. Billy Smith II, Marvin Samoya, Andreas Ravenna, Scott Adams. They're going to have to really start to put some work down out there as they just see Andreas Ravenna and that Dynaco machine, all 4 tires off of the racetrack there. Hopping on board here out there with the quick race replay of Andreas Ravenna. Watch this. It's easier said than done. You're trying to carry that speed, you're trying to carry that momentum, trying to carry all of the above within outside of turn number 10, heading out there within turn number 1, just not able to make it happen. Anthony Nguyen, Billy Smith II, Marvin Samoya, and there goes Andreas Ravenna. The top 4 drivers still showing pretty much since the drop over the green flag. I mean, still about 1 second that separates back within that top 1 through 4 battle. We'll have 5th through about 10th place. Scott Adams, AJ McAllister, Daniel Parmalee, James Lopez, and Corey Elliott, Daniel Santabanes there. Now, it's a little bit less of a gap that separates that about 5th through 8th position. So that's why we're continuing to show a lot of momentum and a lot of camera shots out there within our top 1, 2, 3, 4. Anthony Nguyen, after really taken away over the race lead out there with him. A couple laps on by, it's still 3/10 in the bank out there, continuing to stretch his legs up and out up front, running out of time once again for the rest of the pack. Smith II, Samoya, as well as is Andreas Rafana. Andreas Rafana, what a race it was out here tonight for him. He comes into this race P5 in the point standings as this season continues to dwindle on, as these races continue to show the green flag and right back into the checkered here, if you will, as well. Andreas Rafana, sixth in the point standings for a reason. Another driver who just consistency is key there. He showed up to a lot of, if not most, if not all of our NASA Texas races out here within virtual sim racing world. Andreas Rafana is now starting to show that. Hopping on board up there with him, Andreas Rafana, a driver who kind of knows up there, you would imagine, within the grip limits of this Toyota GR86 Cup car Rs. He's going to drive it out there deep within that double right-hander, fastest car last lap by. Can he quite possibly get this top 3 driver interview spots? Is it still set up between Anthony Nguyen, Billy Smith II, and Marvin Samoya, 4 minutes. This time back and by across the stripe. It still will go side by side for the race lead. Anthony Nguyen backing around this double right-hander back into the left. It's a quick contact there for the race lead. Anthony Nguyen tries to keep it off of that right side-by-side panel over there over Billy Smith II after a slight kiss, after a slight touch going into corner entrance, corner apex, and corner exit. They're all keeping off of each other there. Billy Smith II still somehow, some way, still shown as our virtual leader of this race. Billy Smith II, if he's got enough up there pace and got enough points up there headed within this race within these last 3 minutes time, Smith II could be looking at going here within this race second in the point standings. The next thing you know, go near to the next weekend up there within the point standings lead. We're searching for race win number 8 on the season for a reason. Here comes Billy Smith II. It's offense versus defense within these final couple of laps here to go. Now for maybe a driver like your Marvin Samoya who sits P3, Andreas Rafana especially who sits here in P4, keep an eye on these drivers in these final few minutes left to go. Ladies and gentlemen, you might know it by this time, but myself, I come from stock car racing myself. 3,000 oval iRating myself, and well, that just goes to show slipstream and draft is going to make or break you. Here it comes, the slipstream or draft. It could make you or break you, and it will definitely so make or break this battle here for the race lead. Here comes Anthony Nguyen after contact from the rear bumper, a slice and a dice and a bump draft there from Marvin Samoya. Marvin, he's going to help out there over Anthony Nguyen. Anthony backing around inside, outside line of the racetrack. It does close the gap out there. Battles for the race win. Final minute and a half left here to go. Oh, this is getting good out here from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. We could be looking at the 2 laps here left to go. Well, no, I'll take that back. This would be the last lap here. Billy Smith II, here he's whack within the race lead, trying to hold off there over Anthony Nguyen. Anthony Nguyen, he has been there. He has done that. He has been on the offense. He has been over the defense. He's been side by side out there before within these final couple of laps left here to go. We could be looking at 2 to go this time with how early that was there within the lap. Anthony Nguyen hopping on board here with him through Continental roller coaster section. Still got Billy Smith II out there and into the race lead. This is all going to come down into the final sections as far as checkered flag is concerned and as far as who's making it into virtual victory lane. Here comes Billy Smith II on that back straightaway. He's got a gap there over about 1/10 of a second over Anthony Nguyen. Here comes Anthony Nguyen though. He's been there. He has done that within these final sectors, within these final corners, within these final laps out there. These Toyota GR86 Cup cars of NASA Texas. Scott Adams driving development. Here comes Anthony Nuggets of the race. It all comes down to Billy Smith II winning outside of turn number 10 within less than 1/10 of a second. That separated him and Anthony Nguyen. Ladies and gentlemen, stick with us out here on STAM Studio Network. We're going to catch up out with here within our front top 3 drivers. We're going to catch up out here within our unofficial official race results. But out there coming into the stripe, Billy Smith II from the outside and back into the inside line. He'll find virtual victory lane by maybe a 10th, if not 2 at the stripe. What a race, what a win out there. Billy Smith II, race win number 8 on the season. He'll go ahead and break STAM Studio Network racing broadcast history. How close was it? Well, that close there at the stripe. Stick with us out here on Stam Studio Network, catching out there with Billy Smith II, Anthony Nguyen, and Andreas Rafana in the 1-2-3. Stick with us as well. We'll catch up with our unofficial official race results. Well, how about you, Billy Smith II? Sean Stam down here, Virtual Victory Lane. Got yourself a copy.
Hey, Sean, I got your copy.
Well, Billy, congratulations. And you've broken Stam Studio Network broadcast history. This is 8 wins on the season. What's it feel like out there from back and behind the wheel? And how'd you make it happen here tonight, Billy?
Wow, well, this is probably one of the best races of the season, I'd have to say. Not the largest field, but up front, I mean, man, couldn't get away, and just tight racing the entire time. Really clean racing at that.
Man, that's really well said out there from back and behind the race wheel there. Man, it all came down out there to the last lap. How'd you keep your cool? How'd you keep it calm and collected out there with that final lap to go out there, Billy?
Well, my setup had a little bit too much understeer in it, so I was fighting that, and I just knew it was going to be kind of a game of chess to try to figure out how to get to the start and finish line first. And Anthony just was putting it on there the last little section, and it was kind of everything I could do just to try to make sure he pinched or missed a corner or something like that to try to get a run to the finish. And I dropped it down to second and tried to make him run as wide as possible. And if the start and finish line was probably, I don't know, 30, 40 more feet, he would have had it.
Well, we appreciate you breaking that out there, Billy Smith, man. What a race it was out there for you. What a win as well. You're shouting out to you, dedicating this virtual victory lane out there too, man.
Yeah, as always, just thanks to everyone who puts it together, Scott, and everyone behind the scenes, Dan. I know that everyone puts in a lot of work, and you guys for doing the broadcast. It's awesome.
Hey, that goes a long ways there back behind the scenes, Billy. Really appreciate it, man. And how about you, P2, P3, Anthony? You got yourself a copy. Andreas Rafana, you still sticking around?
I am here.
Man, Andreas, how about you? This has been a long time coming. You get a top 3 driver interview finish. How about you, man? Top 3 coming out here from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Yeah, first podium. I've been working hard, trying to be as consistent as possible, and finally it stuck. All that practice paid off. Finally getting up there on the podium.
Well, Andreas, you finally were able to make it out there to your first podium. What does it take from back in behind the race wheel to go back at it side by side, lap after lap against the Scott Adams Driver Development NASA Texas drivers?
Oh man, it's exciting. It's heart pounding. It's a lot of focus and concentration. I'm sweating over here, and just stay locked in and keep running those laps.
I'll be honest here with you, Andreas. I'm sweating out there just watching you guys put it on the show out here tonight. Shout out to each and every single one of you from back and by the race wheel putting on the show here tonight. But Andreas, who are you shouting out? Oh, I think it just closed. Well, I shouted out there him enough, and Andreas, I'm sure he's got his shout outs and the sponsors and affiliates out there as well. But in all seriousness, thank you all in each and every single one of you. 1, 2, 3, and that final driver interview spot out there for Andreas. Thank you all out there from the bottom of my heart. That's going to about there do it out there from Stam Studio Network Racing Broadcast. But don't go anywhere. It's not going to about here do it just yet. We got to go over some official race results, and we have to go over some incidents that we had maybe missed earlier here within the race. Unofficial official race results looking like this. Congratulations, Billy Smith II, Anthony Nguyen, Andreas Rafana, and the 1, 2, 3 just heard out there with drivers first and third. It's Marvin Samoya, Scott Adams, AJ McAllister, Daniel Parmalee, Corey Elliott, James Lopez, Daniel Santabanes, the top 10, Keith Gwinnett, and Austin Dinger rounding out the top 12. Our charger tonight, most amount of positions gained, it's AJ McAllister, most laps led, Billy Smith II, and Anthony Nguyen with the fastest lap of the race. Now checking on out there within a couple of our incidents that we maybe had missed within that final kind of second stage of the race. I believe it all started out there with kind of Corey Elliott going around. This replay we did see, but everything here from here on we did not. So this was going into that double right-hander. We had Daniel Parmalee up and in front of him. Corey Elliott just tried to kind of double down on that right-hander, tries to dive it down into the inside, but Daniel Parmalee, he is there. That's how Daniel is spent down and around. Excuse me, Corey, excuse me. We also had some action out there with Andreas Profana and James Lopez. Here's what happens out there between those two. Oh, a little bit deep turn for Profana, but he works his way back within the top 3. There goes a little bit of bang out there for, didn't quite guess that driver. Daniel Santabanes also going off the racetrack as well, but it's not going to collect him, thankfully. Just a little bit of 4 tires here, 4 tires there. Fastest Toyota GR86 lawnmower on this circuit there for Daniel. And as we're going back within green flag racing, here goes AJ McAllister. Just another 4 tires off the racetrack there. No harm, no foul. That will be an all updated look at there within the incidents, within the race, and within kind of the results that we had out here from Stam Studio Network in our NASA Texas Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series. Thank you all once again so much from the bottom of our hearts out here within SSN for joining out there with us. Make sure you, if you're out there from around, from Lamar at COTA, just hit us up out there at Cotton Bowl Speedway just outside of Austin, Texas. I'll be on the PA and the broadcast mic that night. It would mean a lot out there to me if you catch us up there. Congratulations, Billy Smith II, Anthony Nguyen, Andreas Profana with the 1, 2, 3. We'll catch up here with you next Tuesday night. Thank you all so much, as well as you out there within YouTube land, Moonlight Dancer. We got Jaden Wilcox, Texas Honda Racing, and 00 Hero Ted Wilbur as well. Sean Stam directing, producing, and commentating the show. Have a great rest of your night, and until next time.